Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to attempt a 36-hour fast.
I'll just enjoy this glass of water. I'm stuffed.
Now the reason I decided to do a fast today was because I've gotten really lazy with my eating and drinking a lot of alcohol. And I went ahead, I hadn't weighed myself in almost 2 weeks, and I went ahead and got on the scale and it was up like 6 pounds. I know I didn't gain 6 pounds in 2 weeks, but I did gain something. Definitely was going in the wrong direction. So I need to rein it in and get my act together. So in order to do that, I'm going to start going back to adding more fasting in. And I thought I would try to jumpstart it by doing a 36-hour fast. I've done some extended fasts in the past, but it's been over a year since I've done one, so I thought it was time to kind of do a little housekeeping on my body. I'm gonna go ahead and check in with you throughout the day to let you know how things are going. I started my fasting timer last night when I stopped eating. So right now I'm at 12 hours. I did start to feel a little bit hungry, I don't know, like 30 minutes ago, and it's 9 o'clock right now. So I did go ahead and do a cold brew. I am not going to be doing a water only fast this time around. I might make that a goal later on, but right now the coffee is fine by me, and I'm drinking my cold brew and it's black, and so that's the only thing other than water I'll be drinking today. I probably won't have another one after this because I tend to only drink 1 coffee a day. I will see you in a few hours and let you know how it's going. It's time to check in. It is 1:42 and I have been working for the past couple hours, so I've been staying pretty busy and it's been pretty good at managing, like paying attention to my hunger. But on the way home, like every fast food sounded delicious. Like everything I passed by, it's like, ooh, I want that and I want that and I want that. I am kind of hungry and I just got home, and so I think I'm gonna chug some water and see if then it'll kind of dissipate. And I'll probably watch the morning show, the Apple TV one with Jennifer Aniston. I think it's pretty old, so I thought I would, kind of distract myself with that so that I'm not thinking about my hunger. I am on 16 hours and 44 minutes. So we're about halfway through the fast, and just mild hunger, nothing super intense. I think dinner time is when I'm gonna feel a little bit more anxious about it. That's typically like my favorite meal is dinner. Well, and I'm sure my husband's gonna want me to make something, so that's gonna be a little tricky because I'm gonna be smelling the food while I'm making something and then not gonna be able to eat it till tomorrow. If you're curious about fasting and some like research behind it, Dr. Jason Fung is a really good resource. He has a book called The Obesity Code. He also has The Complete Guide to Fasting. And both of those books are pretty science heavy. And so if you're looking for like research and stuff, that's a really good source. He just recently co-authored a book called Life in the Fasting Lane. And I feel like that one's a much better one for layman's terms if you're really interested in just kind of seeing how can I make fasting apply to my life. And I'm currently listening to that on audiobook, which is what kind of inspired me to go back to extended fasting since it's been a while since I did that. And I was getting so lazy with trying to intermittent fast. Like I had said before, I was adding honey and half and half to my coffee, and I think that was actually the gateway drug back to junk food, because I started eating earlier and then I was consuming more, and then I was just not paying as much attention to what I was eating. I will link Jason Fung's books below in case you're interested. I am really liking the Life in the Fasting Lane because it is very real. It's like, hey, what do you do when you go on vacation with fasting? What do you do when there's a holiday? What do you do if you have a special reunion dinner on Friday night but you're supposed to be fasting? I think that's great. I think it's helpful for people who don't understand necessarily how it can fit in their life. I have not really been someone that's scheduled out my fasts where it's like every Monday, Wednesday, Friday I fast no matter what. So maybe if I start doing something like that, it would produce better results if I was more consistent with it. Then I'm gonna decide what kind of fasting schedule that I want to start implementing, because I do want to be more consistent about it. Probably gonna leave my weekends open, also because I'm less busy. And that is the secret to fasting, is like staying busy, because then you don't even realize that you haven't eaten in 36 hours. So I will see you when I start feeling more hungry again. All right, it's been 19 and a half hours. I watched some shows, but all I could think about was food. I was only like mildly hungry, but it was just in my brain. Like I had this fried rice in the fridge and all I could think about was it for hours. So I have decided to go ahead and end my fast. And tomorrow I'm going to try again, except I think I'm going to set the bar a little bit lower. And tomorrow I'm going to try for a 24-hour fast. So whenever I'm done eating tonight, or start my timer, so then 6 or 7 tomorrow I'd be able to eat. So I would just basically be like 1 meal a day. But I will take you on the journey again tomorrow, and hopefully I'll do better. When you fall off the horse, you got to get right back on again. So even if I'm not successful today with my goal, it doesn't mean that I can't try again tomorrow and maybe adjust the goal to be a little bit more realistic, considering I haven't been fasting for very long at all. I mean, it's been 3 or 4 weeks, I think, since I've done an actual like black coffee kind of fast. It was probably pretty unrealistic to make it 36 hours. And it is a mental game, and I guess my mental battle is defeated today. I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. It is the next day, and I went ahead and stopped eating at about 9 o'clock last night. So that does make today a little bit challenging, because if I want to do 24 hours, that means that I can eat at 9 o'clock tonight. But that's pretty late to eat, and at that point I probably would just go to sleep and eat in the morning, which would lead me closer to getting to my 36 hours. But I figured that this is a good way to sort of leave like a little bit of a breadcrumb or something, so that if I am feeling like I'm wanting to quit at like the 20-hour mark, I can say, oh, I only have 4 more hours and then I can eat something, instead of saying, oh, I still have like 10 hours before I can eat. So I'm gonna kind of see how this goes. I also noticed yesterday that I didn't drink very much water, so I really want to focus on lots of water today, and I think that'll help a lot. I just stepped on the scale and I was 1.6 pounds lighter than yesterday, which I know I didn't lose 1.6 pounds of fat, but it feels really good to lose some of that water weight and that bloat that I had developed from all that junk food eating. So overall, I'm feeling pretty good, and I am optimistic that I'm gonna hit my goal. All right, I finished my water and my stomach is grumbling, so I'm gonna make some coffee. I am past the 12-hour mark right now. I feel pretty fine, except that my stomach is like going crazy because it wants food. I'm noticing a pattern though, because it was around 9 a.m. yesterday when it started to grumble, and something that the Fasting Lane book was talking about was that your body gets used to eating at certain times, and so you'll tend to get hungry at certain times. And I think that that's definitely true. So it'll be interesting to see if I get really hungry around 3-4 o'clock again, since that's kind of when I broke, because I was just so hungry. And all I could think about was the food that was in the fridge. So that would definitely be a tip of mine, is make sure you don't have anything yummy in your house, because you're gonna wanna eat it. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a cold brew, and I'll see you in a bit. It is about 2:46, and I am feeling better than I did yesterday, I think. I know that I said I was going to watch some shows to sort of distract myself, but I actually think that that made it worse, because even though the shows were engaging, they weren't necessarily distracting. And so I've been doing a lot of computer work and thinking about other things, and I think that's really helping with focusing on my hunger or my desire to eat. Because truthfully, I'm not that hungry. Like, I do have a little bit of like a stomach growl right now, but I also think it's because I needed to be drinking some water. 17 right now. And I just refilled my glass of water, so I will be drinking more water. My lunch today. And I did yoga this morning, fasted, and I definitely preferred that, because I do have a problem where if there's like a lot of food in my stomach, that it'll feel like I'm pressing on it, or that I'm getting like some acid reflux. So I really do prefer doing fasted exercise. I will be vlogging tomorrow, kind of showing you what my new non-yoga / getting back on track routine will look like. So you'll get to see that soon. And yeah, that's the only update I have so far. I'll let you know when I start getting ravenous again. I was scrolling through Facebook and I just had to share with you. There was a Costco ad for a 4th of July cake, and because I'm so hungry, I am literally triggered by it. I'm like, ooh, a cake. I want a cake. Ooh, $2 off. Even better. Maybe I should get a cake for the 4th of July. It's all mind games. It's not like I actually want to eat cake right now. My brain is thinking I'm starving, and so it wants to eat everything. But little does my brain realize that I have tons of food stored on my body that it could be eating right now. Silly brain. I am at the 20-minute mark, and I have been editing on my YouTube video, but the entire time I was thinking of food, and it was like a minute I'd think about what I was editing and a minute I'd be thinking about food, and it like went back and forth and back and forth, and I'm like, holy cow. But I predicted correctly in that my dinner being so late is really throwing me off. Because if I had finished eating yesterday when I was planning on finishing eating, I would only have about an hour left before I got to eat dinner. And that is much more manageable. I definitely could have pushed myself to make it another hour. But the fact that I have at least another 4 hours potentially until tomorrow, it's just not gonna work. So I'm sorry that I am failing for day 2, but I did extend it even more. So I did make 20 hours this time instead of 19 and a half, so I'm making progress. I wanna be real with you. I wanna show you that it's not gonna be perfect every day. It's not gonna be easy. It's going to be a mental battle. And I also wanna show you that I am a perfectionist and I have a really hard time not doing things perfectly, which is why things like challenges work for me, because I don't want to not complete a challenge because I want to do things as perfectly as I can. So these days are pretty humbling for me because it reminds me I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And we're all gonna have good days and bad days, and all we can do is just push through and try better tomorrow. So tomorrow I am getting sun in my face. I apologize, it literally just came out. I am going to be filming again tomorrow because I'm going to be showing you kind of what my day is going to look like now that I'm back on track. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.